Now we are going to the next topic, that is management by objectives. So actually management by objective is a plan focused management tool or technique that was proposed by Peter Drucker in 1954. And actually through this management technique or management tool, uh, the organizational effectiveness can be enhanced by means of proper and effective delegation and allocating proper targets and objectives through a detailed planning. That is the feature or peculiarity attraction of this MBO process. So, in the case of this management by objective process, first of all, a detailed planning will be done, and after that detailed planning, each section or department or unit in an organization will be given the plan of action they should do and or execute, and thereafter an evaluation will be conducted to analyze how much of the delegated task is accomplished by that particular unit or employee. So that such a process is management objective. Okay, inside this name itself, this MBO, management by objective, it shows what is this, what is the process behind this MBO process. Actually, in this case of management by objective, the top level management will fix the objectives or detailed plan or main objectives or plans, and that plans will be assigned to the subordinates or lower levels, and also there will be departmental objectives and departmental plans, and everyone on every activity in the organization will be driven by that objectives or plans set in advance. And once these plans are established and communicated to all the units of the business organization, every unit in that particular organization is expected to work to attain that particular objective or target. And later, an evaluation will be conducted to analyze what extent of the delegated or communicated targets are accomplished by the concerned units or departments. Hence, there will be a performance evaluation also, and on the basis of the performance evaluation, an organization can understand or analyze how much of the objectives or targets that are already set are accomplished by the organization. So such a process of management is management by objective. So this is a process of management whereby the managing the business organization is done by advanced planning and allocating the objectives and evaluation of the objectives that are attained, or evaluation of the performance by the employees or various units of the organization. So such a management practice or process is management by objective. Actually, this MBO process integrates all the sections of the organization, and it integrates the various objectives inside the organization, and the advanced targets or objectives are fixed, and the units, all the units in the organization are expected to contribute or perform properly to accomplish the targets that are fixed in advance. So that is the MBO process. Now we will see the objectives of MBO. First one is to measure and judge the performance. Actually, MBO process enabled, or the main focus is measurement of the objectives and performance. Okay, so once the objectives are set in advance, we can easily measure the performance of every unit in an organization. And second thing is the relate individual performance to organizational goals. So there are, we know in any business organization there are so many individuals, and these individuals form a part of the organization. Actually, by means of this MBO process, the performance of each individual will be accounted, and it will be connected to the organization, or it will be performance evaluation will be done on the basis of the individual contribution of the various different employees with regard to the organizational objectives. And third thing is it to clarify both the job to be done and expectation and that are to be accomplished. That is, since the objectives are set in advance, the management sets the objectives in advance, and it measures the targets or the targets or the objectives that are fixed for each individual or each unit in such a way there will be clear clarity regarding the work that is to be done by an employee, and what is expected from an employee, and what is done by an employee. Such an evaluation is possible in this case of MBO process. The next one is to foster the competence and growth of the subordinates. So since each one is assigned a particular task or target, the performance and competence will improve for every employee or every unit in an organization. And again, it enhances communication between the supervisors and subordinates. Since the objectives or targets are fixed for everyone, they need to communicate each other, because for marketing department there will be an objective. Then therefore all the people in this marketing department should work together to accomplish the results or targets. Therefore there will be a smooth communication also, and it serves as a basis for the judgment about the salary and promotion. Actually, we know in the case of many business organizations nowadays, the promotion and salary or bonus or perks are determined by means of their performance and accomplishment of the targets. So actually it is an MBO process. For example, in many of the automobile dealers, we know most of the automobile dealers, for example car dealers like Maruti Suzuki, they have salesmen deployed all over the India, and the incentives, salary and allowances for these people, sales executives, are determined on the basis of the targets. That is, the objectives or targets are fixed in advance, and the fixed objectives are to be accomplished by the sales executives, and if and only they accomplish that results or targets, they will get the incentives. That is a mechanism, or that's an MBO process that are usually commonly used in a automobile field or automobile sales field. Then actually to stimulate the motivation of the subordinates and to serve as a decision for organization control. Actually it stimulate or motivate the subordinates, because if they do something they will be rewarded, and if they didn't do anything they will not be rewarded. So that's actually for people who are having good performance, they will get rewards. So it's a good motivation for subordinates, even the lower level subordinates also. And actually this MBO will be helpful in setting organizational control. Control means by means of setting a proper objectives and targets and evaluating the targets, proper control can be exercised in the business organization. So that's all about this objectives of MBO. Now we are coming to the features of MBO, management with objective features. So MBO focus attention on what must be accomplished and how it is accomplished. That is first thing. So in MBO process, the target or objective is important and not the procedure. Okay, that is how the things are to be done is not relevant in MBO process. In MBO process, it is the whether it is done or not is important. Whether it is done or not in a time bound manner, that's a thing or answerable thing, and the procedure is not at all relevant in MBO. And again, this MBO process ensures participation of the subordinates on all the elements or units of an organization. So in MBO, since every unit in a business organization is given target, every unit is having a target or a objective, or objective is fixed for every department, everyone have to cooperate and coordinate the things so that the targets are achieved, because everyone is answerable on the basis of the objectives fixed in advance. So next one is MBO actually stress on the measurable and verifiable goals. So since in MBO process there are pre-established goals, and actually on the basis of that goals actual performance can be measured and evaluated. So that is another feature of MBO. Then MBO is a dynamic system with which integrates the company's need to achieve its objectives. Okay, and with the managers and need to contribute and develop himself. So it's a MBA is a dynamic process, and whereby dynamic means it's a going on process, and every manager how to adopt himself to equip himself so that the desired goals are attained. Okay, a manager cannot stand still, because and business organization is a dynamic organization, and the world around him is changing, and to adopt to the changes and to accomplish the results he also has to change, and hence the MBA process is a dynamic system. And MBO is a philosophy of management that allows management to attain maximum result from the available resources. So actually MBO is a managerial tool or technique based on the philosophy of setting objectives in advance or plans in advance for everyone. So actually through MBO process, every unit and every individual or every subordinate in a business organization will be given a target or objective. That targets on the objectives will be based on the organizational objectives, and specific objectives will be given to each unit of organization, and by means of allocating objectives and targets that is to be attained by the subordinates or individuals, a business organization can be smoothly driven to the overall success, or performance can be ensured by means of such a MBO philosophy. So that is a thing behind this MBO process. Actually it is a management tool or a management thing whereby organizational objectives can be attained using a predetermined way of giving targets, and that's a process or that's a philosophy behind this MBO process. Again, next one thing is that it is a continuous process of goal setting and periodical appraisal and modification of goals and performance. Actually, it is a continuous process. We cannot tell that this MBO is a stable thing, because every day or every week or every month this goals will change or targets will change, and there will be periodical evaluation, and on the basis of periodical evaluation the targets will be revised, and newer and newer targets will be fixed, so that the organization can go upward, that is the performance can be increased more. So actually this is a continuous process. The MBA process is a continuous process whereby an organization continuously revises its objectives and evaluates its performance, and such a continuous process is this MBO process. Now we are coming to the next area, that is the benefits of MBO. So now we'll see what are the benefits that can be derived from this MBO. The first benefit or advantage that can be made out of MBO is improved planning. So since we are having a plan oriented target fixing, we will have a good planning in advance before doing everything, or before a year, financial year, or before a month we will be having a improved planning, and therefore the advantage of advanced planning can be derived in an organization also. That's first advantage. Second thing is better management. Since every unit in an organization is given a target, then performance evaluation is done unit level from individual level onwards, better management can be or management is possible in a business organization. Third thing is it's a teamwork will be facilitated by means of this MBO, because every unit in the organization is given a target, and every department or every section on the department will be given a target, and that targets will actually facilitate teamwork, because the targets are important or the objectives are important. Therefore, because here in the case of MBO, the individual's performance is evaluated on the basis of attainment of the objectives, not how. I have already discussed, we have already seen, that is how the work is done is irrelevant. The thing that is relevant is whether it is attained or not. Okay, whether the objectives are attained or not is important, and the work or effort that is taken is irrelevant. Therefore, employees will cooperate each other to get the results, because if the results are not there, they will be at the time of appraisal or evaluation, they will be appraised like that. That will, as example, for example, I have already told that in the case of a car dealer, whether a car is sold or not is important, and whether a salesman worked or not is irrelevant. Therefore, everyone will cooperate each other to get the desired results. Okay, so in the case of a car dealership, we can say, for example, a manager of a Maruti Suzuki dealership will be evaluated on the basis of number of cars sold by the salesman under his control. Therefore, the manager of a dealership will be continuously working together with the salesman to attain the results. So such a teamwork will be facilitated in the case of this MBO process. Next is a better personal commitment will be there, because since everyone is having a target or objective, or every unit is having an objective, everyone will personally do his best to get the desired results. And next advantage is effective control. So top level management can control its organization very well because of these objectives. And effective control is facilitated by means of MBO, because of this top management is giving a plan or a target, and if the subordinates or department is not able to attain the target, they are at the time of evaluation or appraisal, they will be answerable to that. So actually a target based measurement is possible, and that's a way through which the control can be exercised very easily in the case of MBO. And next is a important thing is, it's objective appraisal is the system that is followed in MBO. In MBO, the objective appraisal is taking place. That is, whether the target is attained or not, whether the objective is attained or not. Okay, that is the appraisal mechanism. That is, a car dealer will be given the responsibility to sell 1,000 cars, and the answer that is to be given by the manager of the car dealership is how many cars he was able to sell. 1,000 is the objective, and whether he is able to sell 1,000 car or 1,100 cars or 800 car. That is what is the number of car he is able to sell out of the targets. So that's a objective based appraisal is taking place in MBO, and actually it will increase the motivation. Next, another advantage is motivation and morale, because since there is a target, there will be or objective. If the department or individual attain that target, he will get motivated, and since he will get rewarded, and since he is going to be appraised, he will get motivated, and his morale will also increase. So actually we should think ourselves also, whenever we are also demotivated, or when we are not having a charisma to live, it's actually because there is no objective for us. So in our personal life also, we should also have a objective. With a proper objective, we should go forward every day. So whenever we wake up on a morning, if we don't have any objective on that particular day, we will be very much depressed. So actually, how this depression and demotivation and all these things comes, we should analyze. All these things comes because we don't have an objective. So if tomorrow morning, if you want to go to college, or tomorrow you have an examination, you will be motivated because tomorrow you have an objective. That is, tomorrow's objective is to pass or write that exam and get a good mark. But tomorrow, if you don't have an exam, you will be demotivated. What is the demotivation? You don't have to do anything. Okay, so that is this objective is a very crucial thing in every element of life and organization. So that's actually objectives are actually motivators. We should understand and realize that actually, so for everyone we should give some objective or targets. So everyone in our surroundings, okay, everyone around our surroundings, we should give everyone around our surroundings some kind of objectives. Don't tell others that you don't have any objective. So even so actually I am explaining this point, that is a motivation and morale, because actually in a business organization also, if there is if MBA process is deployed in an organization, MBA process is adopted in an organization, employees will get motivated and their morale will increase, because then they have an objective to do, they have some commitment to do, and since because of that commitment they have to work hard, and because of working hard they will forget about everything in their life or in personal life, and they will work hard and get that they will achieve the targets, and they will have some sort of satisfaction. So actually because of these hard objectives, hard works, only there will be a satisfaction. Without a objective and without a hard work, we will not have any kind of satisfaction in our life. So that's an important thing that you people also should understand, because while your studies also, while when you are progressing with your studies also, you should also have some kind of personal objective, at least in your mind, because without a target, without an objective, your life and even my life will not be happy. So there should be a career objective, there should be a career objective or personal life objective in your hand, in your mind, so that you can pursue something. So without an objective we cannot pursue anything in our life. Okay, so a pursuable strong objectives should be set in our life and for people around us. Sometimes your brothers or sisters may not be studying a management, business management or like that, and they may not be aware of this thing. So you should also tell them also to set a proper objective in your life, in their life. So by means of setting a proper objective, a tangible objective, we can have a strong life, so that we happy life. Okay, so next we are going to the limitations of MBO. So when we come to the limitations of MBO, first thing is it is a there are some constraints in MBO process. The first thing is there is a difficulty in setting the goals. So it is not very easy to set a goal in advance for everything, for everywhere. We cannot set the goals in advance. That is, for example, we cannot plan everything in advance, every minute things in advance, and every departmental objective in advance. Actually, we can plan, but it is a very difficult process. It will take time and it is a very stringent job. That is even you. I don't know whether you know how our finance budget is prepared. You just go to the website of Finance Department, Government of Kerala, or you may refer the website of Union Finance Ministry's website. You can see how the finance budget is prepared. You just go through the orders and circulars from Finance Department. You can see that is for the preparation of a finance budget, a long work is going on. That is for preparation of the finance budget for next year. That is next year means next financial year's budget is for 2022-2023. Okay, for the preparation of that budget, the work will start now itself. Now itself there is a planning department in finance department, and they are actually doing the planning for next year now itself, and they are preparing. They have already started the work for preparation of the finance budget for next year. So actually finance budget is a plan. So MBO process is also based on plans or objectives. Actually setting up this objective or goal or plan is a very tedious task. It's a difficult task. Then second thing is the emphasis of this planning or MBO process is only on short-term goals. We cannot have a long-term goal set for MBO process. Actually, every department and every individual should be given short-term goal that is to be pursued and attained. So that is another constraint or a disadvantage of MBO process. Thirdly, it's a time-consuming and costly process. I already told. That is it's a difficult task, and it's a time consuming process, and it's a costly process also. because now just now I have told you that is finance department is having a planning department itself. The planning department has so many staff. So Kerala government is actually Kerala government or government departments, central government also. The government departments are actually expending so much amount for this planning process itself. So this actually planning or MBO process, that is setting the objectives in advance, planning the objectives, and all these processes is actually very time consuming and costly one. Then next is there is so many paperwork is there, so many paperworks as I have already told, so many paperwork is involved in this MBA process, and there is a actually it's a pressure oriented thing. That's a really a disadvantage of this MBO. So many since the targets are fixed in advance and the individuals and departments are oriented towards the targets, and they are suffering so much because of these targets. So they are expected to attain these targets, and if they are not able to attain the target, they will not get incentives or perks, and even they will be punished, they will receive punishments. So such a system is actually a pressure oriented thing. Okay, so that's a disadvantage. Then there is rigidity, because the plans are fixed in advance, and since the plans are fixed in advance, there is no scope for variation. The individuals have to pursue that objective, the departments has to pursue that objective. Therefore there's a rigidity in management system also. And next there is the participation problem is also another thing. Actually the in MBA process the goals are set in advance, and these goals will be mostly put forward by or set up by the top authorities and the superiors, and the subordinates are always the people who have to work for attaining these objectives. Therefore this process, MBA process, actually suffer the participation of subordinates in the planning process and establishment of goals. Okay, that's another disadvantage. Now we will go to the next area, that is the steps in MBO process. So actually what is an MBO process we have already seen, that is setting up objective and giving that objective to the employees or subordinates or departments, and pursuing or pressurizing that departments to attain that goals in a time bound manner, and evaluation and appraisal and review, and that process again the goals will be set accordingly, and that process will go on. It's a cyclical process. MBO is a cyclical process, and that cyclical process will go on in an organization. That's a peculiarity of MBO process. So we will see the one by step process in MBO. First one is setting the objectives of the organization. The first thing that is to be done in an MBO is setting the objectives. That is plans. Objectives is to be set, and first of all the organization objectives and departmental objectives and the individual objectives are to be set, and that objectives are to be set and given to the subordinates or the sections. Then next one is second thing is clarifying the organizational roles. So once the objectives are set, the role of each unit or each employee is to be clarified. That each employee should be aware about the organizational objectives or objectives set under this MBO, and they should be made aware about their role in the attainment of that objective. Every employee or every unit in the organization should be clarified regarding the significant role they have to play in attaining the objective set by the organization or the organization. Then next one is the setting up of the subordinate objectives. So next thing is the subordinate objectives are to be set. That is, every unit in the organization should have an objective. Not only the department, not only the marketing department and finance department. Every employee in the organization should have an objective. So that objectives should be focusing on the organization objective, and such a manner the subordinate objectives are to be set in advance. Then next one is recycling objectives. Recycling objectives means that is once the objectives are set for individuals or departments, they should be recycled or re-evaluated, because everyone should have a proper voice or a proper feedback should be obtained from this departments and subordinates, so that attainable objectives, so that the organization can ensure that the objectives are attainable and it can be attained in a time bound manner. Therefore, a recycling or refreshing process should be done with regard to the objectives. Next step is action planning. Action planning means the plan of action that is to be done, or the execution, that is the actual doing of the task or objectives that are set to each department or individual, so that the objectives can be attained. So that execution process is action planning. So activities that are to be done is to be planned and worked out. Next is the periodic performance reviews. Next step is the review process, that is how much of the work are done by the department or by the individual. That review or appraisal, that is to be done. Periodical evaluation should be done, and we should re-evaluate and refresh the goals that are already set in the MBO process according to the review. So we have to evaluate if the goal is 100 units, whether if the result may be 95 unit only, then there is a variation in 5 units. So that variation is to be brought up, or that is to be brought up to the notice of the concerned employee or department, and the reason for that delay or in attainment of 5 unit. All these things should be discussed in the review process, and that process is the review, and that periodic performance review should go on. Okay, and that's a thing. And last step is a final appraisal. The final appraisal means appraisal of the organizational the attained results with regard to the organizational goals. That is, the organization targeted a net profit of 10 lakh rupees, and each unit in the organization should contribute to this 10 lakh rupees profit, and the final appraisal will consider all the contribution from various departments in attaining a rupees 10 lakh profit. If the organization was able to attain 9 lakh rupees profit, the business organization will consider or appraise the contribution of each department in attaining this 9 lakh rupees profit, and the organization will evaluate the underperformance from various departments and the overperformance from various departments, and all these things will be done, and rewards will be awarded, or more incentives will be given on the basis of the objectives that are attained by the relevant departments. So that is the final appraisal step in this MBO process. So now we will go to the next topic, that is the steps or measures that can be made for making MBO more effective. So MBO process can be made more effective if we have, first thing is that if you have a proper purpose. We should have a proper purpose. So if you have a proper purpose in installing this MBO in an organization, then MBO will be effective. So the clearly stated purpose should be there. Okay, without a proper purpose, MBO cannot be made effective. So purpose of the MBO is a relevant thing. Second thing is that top management support should be there. Without top management support, because the top management should design and establish the objectives, and it should be given to the lower level authority or subordinates, then only this MBO process can be effective. Next one is orientation and training should be given to the different departments and different subordinates or employees, so that they can understand what is this MBO process, and working of this MBO process can be learned in advance. And next one is adequate time and resources should be there. So not just giving the targets alone will not make MBO an effective one. That means that is allocating a target of selling 500 car for a sales executive will not give a result unless he is given enough resource, enough time. So allocation of adequate time and resource should be there for making this effective, that is MBO process an effective one. Next is decentralization. Decentralization is essential because a subordinate should be given a freedom, that is authority, to take his own decisions, and with regard to the targets that are given to him. Then next is that there should be a timely feedback system. So if there is a proper timely feedback system, the MBO process can become more efficient or effective, because without a proper feedback system, the MBO process will not work properly. The feedback system should be open to everyone, so that everyone can, every subordinate can, or every employee can give his feedback on this process or targets. Then next is the handling of the problems. So actually, by MBO may redistribute the power and alter the status of the organization, and surely there will some problems arises in an organization because of the installation or implementation of MBO. So the problems arising out of the implementation of MBO should be handled effectively in a business by the managers, and if they are effectively managed, the business organization can achieve the desired goals out of the MBO process. So with that, we are coming to the end of this MBO process also. Okay, so thank you.